What's happening, traders? Welcome back to another video. So we're here on GJ, and I just want to jump in and show you a trade that I took this morning and a trade that we've just entered right now. Okay guys, so jumping onto the charts, this morning we woke up and we went for our usual scout on the charts to see what we could find, and we found a fake out on GJ. Sarah, what are you saying? Alright then guys, so we're onto the charts, and this morning we had our usual scout for our setup. Now if you followed the live stream or have been following the channel for a while, you understand that this is what we look for at the beginning of London session. Very early here in the UK, I set my alarm for 6 AM and then plot out my areas, and then I'm up and I'm waiting for my setup to arrive. And we got one on GJ to start with, and it was this fake out here. Okay, so we had a fake out of the 6 o'clock or overnight lows. Okay, so my overnight lows goes from 10 p.m. So that is the start here to 6 a.m. Sorry, oh my god, which is here. And I mark out the overnight lows, which is coincidentally this 6 a.m. candle, and then the overnight highs was up here, but I wasn't really interested in that. I assumed that price was going to do something down here, which it did. So what we did is we had this candle here. Now we didn't enter on this candle because we didn't get a break below here, obviously. We closed below here, sorry, but we didn't enter on this candle pushing down because we want to wait to see if we get a close or a breakout. So we got a close below, but with this price action here, with this big push down and this candle wick pushing back up, and then a break inside, I waited to see what this candle was going to do next. Now, if this candle respected this candle's high and broke out below here, I would have set a sell stop. And in fact, I did have a sell stop here, but obviously we didn't get triggered and we closed inside here. So I cancelled out the sell stop. And then I wanted to wait to see what the next candle did after this closure. So you can see we've had a fake out and we've closed back into the zone. So for me, I was anticipating price to push up after that. So just put this to TP1 so you can see that. So then this candle broke this candle's high, as you can see to the left here. Okay, and we pulled back and I entered with a stop loss just below the previous candle low. Went for our 1-to-1 for first TP, and we got perilously close to getting stopped out, but we stayed in the trade because there's a reason why we put our stop where we do. Okay, and things turned around and boom, straight up to first TP, and then second TP got taken out, which was at this supply zone up here. As you can see then, price came up to the supply zone. We could have potentially taken a supply trade off of here, because you can see this is a nice supply zone pushing price down, breaking structure to the left, but we didn't. We took that 28 pips, was happy with that, and then price came down and we closed outside the zone again. Now what I did after this closure was put a sell stop here, which you can see has now been triggered, and we're pushing into a little bit of profit at the moment. Price did push up, but I was happy to keep. Sometimes if this candle was to break this candle's high, I would cancel the sell stop. But because I was pretty confident with the overall downward trend of GJ today, now if we zoom out, you can see that we've got this huge expanse up here, okay, which also has a supply zone here and also one down here. So I can't really see price pushing up today. I can see it coming down, potentially to come down to this sort of area here, okay, which is a nice looking demand zone. Sorry, I think I said supply a second ago. Demand zone below the 50%, and yeah, so we're going to look for price to continue to the downside today. So when we broke out of there, I thought I'd just keep the sell stop in, because I think that we are going to turn around, and we've broken out below this low as well, and this candle has actually respected this candle's high, which is a good sign, and now we're pushing down. So if we go to the 1 hour, let's see what that looks like. Again, we've got this sort of big rejection on the 1 hour, okay, and lots of volume to the downside. So I'm very happy to take this trade, and we are now triggered into it. So what we'll do is we'll come back later on and see how this is doing. And the plan for this one will be to take our first TP here, as we do 80% taken out, banking that profit, and then we can let to see if we can get a runner for the rest of the day. So we'll see how this goes, and we'll come back when we got some more info. Alright then guys, so it's been a little while, and you can see we've had this nice volume candle pushing down into profit. We've got a new candle opening now, and we're hoping that to flip bearish and then come down to our first TP. I've got to pop out in a minute, and I'm going to be on the phone pretty well for the rest of the day. So I'm going to manage this on the phone, and yeah, we'll come back later on when I can get back on the computer. We'll see how we're doing. Okay then guys, and it is later in the day, much later in the day. As you can see, I couldn't get back at the computer. It's been an absolutely just mad day, out and about all day, but we managed to manage this trade, right? So we had our push down, which is where we left the video last. We then had a push back up into drawdown. Okay, that got rejected again, and we came down and just kept moving really, and eventually got to our first TP. I took that 20% out. Sorry, that 80% out. Stop loss came to break even, and then once we this candle formed and we broke this candle's high, I actually took it out there for basically, well, it's a bit shy of that 1-to-1. So we closed out full just there. So not a bad trade, a little bit messy. The volume took a little while, and we had these pushes up and down. But we had two great trades on GJ this morning, the buy and the sell. And yeah, that runner didn't really work. You can see now we're actually reacting off of this supply zone again. Now, I just want to quickly go down to the lower time frames just to try something and test something. So we have fair value gaps in here, and we have one right here. Do we have one there? I mean, there's like a pixel one there, let's say. Okay, let's see what happened here. So you see here we got tapped in, right? Just tapped in and rejected. Okay, fair enough. Could have been a good trade if you're going for 1-to-1, because we did have a large movement down. But price is what eventually come up and filled that gap completely, right? We've come up, liquidity grabbed off the top, and now we're selling off. And actually, this could be a really nice trade to continue to the downside from this point. Because we've taken out that fair value gap, we've just had a move in, and we could potentially, I'm not going to take one because we've just had FMOC come out about an hour and a half ago, and price is always a bit funky when that comes out. It doesn't affect GJ too much, but it always, you can see we had this price action here. But you can see it's interesting, right? The reason why when we find a supply zone or demand zone, why we draw those gaps in and wait for them to get filled. Now this would have been a fine trade, but obviously here we've taken that gap out, and it'll be interesting to see what we do, excuse me, or what happens in the morning, where we can see you know, if this is now reacted as a supply zone. So interesting stuff there. But anyway, I'm going to leave this video here. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. We've got lots of content coming up very soon. We've got a great vlog coming up very soon as I'm going away for 10 days. So hopefully you're going to enjoy that. I'm going to do as many live streams as I can. All of that. So join the Telegram, follow on Instagram, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Oh, and subscribe. Peace.